Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Government House. My name is Hugh Borrowman. I'm the Governor's Official Secretary and I'll be the Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon. Firstly, can I thank you for bearing with us in terms of the works out the front. The main entrance, the state entrance to the house, the one facing North Terrace, dates from the late 19th century, has steps, which it's impossible for anyone with mobility difficulties or in a wheelchair to traverse. Her Excellency and Mr Bunton want Government House to be a house for all South Australians, and that presupposes that everyone should be able to come through the front door on equal terms. Because of the engineering and heritage considerations of the building, the only way to achieve that is to raise the ground level outside. So that's the project that is underway. And for the next round of these investitures from about mid-year on, everyone who comes to Government House will be able to come through the front door. So thank you for bearing with us on that. As we start, could I please ask you to ensure your mobile phones are turned to silent. We do ask there's no photography during this part of the ceremony. We have an official photographer, and after the ceremony you are welcome to take photos anywhere in the building, including back in this room. The ceremony is being live streamed and will be archived on our website for friends and relatives who may not have been able to be here today. Before we start, can I ask you to join me in thanking Petty Officer Musician Rory McKinnon for his contribution today. This is the last of 4 ceremonies this week to present Australian honours. Most of these were announced on Australia Day on 26th of January 2025. Today we're also unusually and with great pleasure presenting the Australian Sports Medal to 4 recipients, and I'll have a bit more to say about that later on. I will now announce the official party. They are the Honourable Peter Malinauskas, Premier of South Australia, the Commander Tony Ryder, Commanding Officer, HMAS Encounter, Royal Australian Navy, Lieutenant Colonel Thuyan Vu, representing the Army Area Representative South Australia, Group Captain Adam Bowler, representing the Senior Air Force Representative South Australia, and Assistant Commissioner Ian Parrott, representing the Commissioner of Police. If you are able, can I now please ask you to be upstanding for the arrival of Her Excellency the Governor and Mr Bunton, and to remain standing for the playing of the Vice-Regal Salute.
Please be seated, everyone. Welcome to Government House, and for those of you who may not know exactly what we are listening to, the Vice-Regal Salute is the first 4 bars of our national anthem and the last 4. So if you thought to yourself there should be something else in between, you're right, but not for the Vice-Regal Salute. I'm going to start in the way I always do on Kaurna country with an acknowledgement in language. Kaurna bogana alia, Kaurna miana alia, yaichi miana alia kumatana yartananku. Nyato na tampandi, Kaurna miana, yaichi yatamatana, bukininanku, yalaka, takarecha. I acknowledge and pay my respects to Aboriginal people here today, whether from Kaurna country or other lands and regions. And I also acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional custodians from the past, today, and into the future. Rod and I welcome you most warmly this afternoon. We've had wonderful weather for each of these 4 ceremonies. They're very happy occasions. They're very special occasions. And I want to start by congratulating the recipients of the awards that I'm going to be investing today. Their names, of course, were announced in the Australia Day Honours List in January, and this is the 50th anniversary year of the Australian Honours in the Order of Australia. As Hugh said, we've got a double ceremony today, if you like, and I also want to congratulate the 4 young people who will be waiting till last, but the 4 young people who are going to receive the Australian Sports Medal. And they're receiving that because they competed in the Special Olympics World Games in Berlin in 2023, and they all came home with bronze medals in the basketball event. So it's wonderful to share today with them. Now, there are a lot of people here supporting those who are receiving awards today, and I want to acknowledge your role in helping, assisting, being by the side of those that we're investing today. In many cases, they would freely say that they couldn't have done it without you, and I want to acknowledge your role as well. This is a special day. It's a little bit formal, but not too formal, I hope. It's also deeply personal, and it's an occasion to be enjoyed and remembered. Now, awards in the Order of Australia are for exceptional achievement or outstanding service. And those in the front will know very well, quite intimately, the service of at least one of the people we're investing today. But in the course of the ceremony, you will come to hear about the service and achievements of others, and that, to me, adds up to something quite extraordinary. When we acknowledge things that are extraordinary, we have not only you here as guests, but we also have the Premier, the Leader of the Opposition will be represented shortly. We have our service chiefs, and we have others who I won't specifically mention by name today, but who are here for special reasons. And I want to thank you for your contribution, both to the Order of Australia, but also for the police torch relay run and others. I've got a couple of things that I'll save till the end, because I think we're just about ready to get underway, Official Secretary.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the following recipient has been appointed a member of the Order of Australia in the General Division. Professor Patrick James O'Connor is recognised for significant service to community health and to conservation and the environment. Professor O'Connor has dedicated decades of leadership to improving community health and preserving the environment, showing a strong commitment to bettering lives and promoting sustainable practices. His work with cystic fibrosis began in 1982 as a children's camp leader volunteer and developed into a leadership role as President of Cystic Fibrosis South Australia and the Australian branch. Under his leadership, the organisation experienced considerable growth and raised public awareness of cystic fibrosis. Professor O'Connor also served as a trustee of the Australian Cystic Fibrosis Research Trust, advancing research and providing vital support for those affected by the condition. In conservation, he's volunteered as President of the Nature Conservation Society of South Australia, Chair of the National Landcare Network, and as a member of Landcare and the Restoration Decade Alliance. Additionally, he has been deeply involved in academic and research initiatives focused on sustainability and food systems as Director of the Centre for Global Food and Resources at the University of Adelaide. Professor Patrick James O'Connor. Your Excellency, the following recipient has been awarded the Australian Corrections Medal. Mr. Matthew Staples is recognised for distinguished service as a member of an Australian correctional service. Since beginning his career as a correctional officer at Mobilong Prison in 2008, Mr. Staples has served as Recreation Officer, Industries Manager, Security Manager, and in senior management roles. At Mobilong, he engaged an array of external stakeholders and community organisations to deliver art, fitness and wellbeing programs for prisoners. As Assistant General Manager at Yatala Labour Prison, he developed systems designed to increase training programs at the prison, including performance development plans. His focus has been on ensuring prisoners have access to service providers and recreational programs while focusing on security and safety. While acting as General Manager at Yatala Labour Prison, he managed complex operations and established wellbeing and cultural safety committees to enhance staff wellness and cultural safety at work. Currently the Acting General Manager at Cadell Training Centre, Mr Stables is committed to implementing development opportunities for prisoners and to providing greater engagement with potential employers by breaking down entrenched attitudes. Mr Matthew Staples. Your Excellency, the following recipients have been awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division. Mr David John Botting is recognised for service to agriculture and to the community of Millicent. Mr Botting's wide-ranging contributions have made a lasting impact not only on agriculture, but also on the social and cultural fabric of the Millicent community. His professional career began as farm advisor with the Millicent and District Advisory Service in 1967, and he quickly advanced to General Manager of Wokwine Pastoral Company. Mr Botting's work with various state government boards, including the South Australian Water Resources Committee and the Struan Research Station, underscored his commitment to the advancement of agriculture. He has served in leadership roles in numerous organisations, including the Millicent Hospital Board, the St John Ambulance Board, and the Millicent branch of the National Trust of South Australia. Notably, he played a pivotal role in the expansion of the museum's horse-drawn vehicle collection and the establishment of the first 30-bed stage of the She Oak Lodge aged care facility at the Millicent Hospital. Mr Botting's community involvement also extended to the Millicent Bowling Club and the Apex Club, where he served as president. Mr David John Botting. Mrs Sarah Suzanne Tinney is recognised for service to the community through charitable organisations. Mrs Tinney's unwavering dedication to cancer research and community support has left a profound mark on South Australia. In 2014, she founded the Marilyn Jetty Swim in memory of her mother who had lost her battle with uterine cancer. What began as a heartfelt tribute has since blossomed into a beloved event, attracting hundreds of participants each year to swim around Brighton Jetty while dressed as Marilyn Monroe. Through Mrs Tinney's vision and dedication, the event has raised over $1.5 million for Cancer Council SA, fueling vital research and support services. Her ability to turn grief into action has empowered individuals touched by cancer, uniting them in hope and purpose. Mrs Tinney's vision also earned a Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of Marilyn Monroes. Through her tireless efforts, Mrs. Tinney has created a lasting legacy of compassion and impact. Mrs. Sarah Suzanne Tinney. Mr. Vincent Ciccarello is recognised for service to arts administration. Through his leadership and dedication to the arts, Mr. Ciccarello has had an enduring and transformative impact on South Australia's cultural institutions, education systems and community life. Mr. Ciccarello's tenure as Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra was marked by a strategic vision and commitment to broadening the orchestra's reach and impact. In his roles as Treasurer of the Arts Industry Council of South Australia and Head of Philanthropy and Enterprise at the Art Gallery of South Australia, Mr. Ciccarello championed both the preservation and growth of the state's rich artistic life. He also contributed to the development of future generations of artists through his roles with the Music Education Strategy Advisory Panel, as well as the Adelaide Youth Orchestra and Performers Management. His commitment to education is evident in his current roles at Pembroke School, where he serves as Director of Development and Philanthropy and as a Foundation Board member. Mr. Ciccarello's passion for cultural enrichment has extended to involvement in the Adelaide Festival, the University of Adelaide's Creativity and Culture Advisory Board, and the Adelaide UNESCO City of Music. Mr. Vincent Ciccarello. Mrs. Wendy Gambling is recognised for services to netball as an administrator. Through her many roles and decades of service, Mrs. Gambling has helped shape the future of netball at local, state and national levels. A life member of both the Riverland Netball Association and the Berry Netball Club, Mrs. Gambling has served as a coach, club president, selector and team manager, significantly shaping the sport in her region. Mrs. Gambling was instrumental in the introduction of indoor stadium games, a move that helped raise the profile of players and attract greater community engagement with netball. Her innovative approach also included securing sponsorships to televise grand finals, ensuring the sport's visibility and fostering wider support. Mrs. Gambling's roles as manager of the South Australian country team and state touring team, in addition to her role as trials coordinator for the Murray Region Netball Academy, ensuring ongoing development and success, particularly for regional players. Mrs. Wendy Gambling. Mrs. Elizabeth Haberman is recognised for service to the community of South Australia. Following the tragic loss of her son Reese, who ended his life after a terminal bone cancer diagnosis, Mrs. Haberman has become a courageous advocate for voluntary assisted dying. Reese's death, peaceful but illegal at the time, followed 18 months of excruciating suffering as the cancer spread, driven by his desire to avoid further pain. Despite facing emotional, legal and social challenges, including a lengthy police investigation and the criminalisation of her son's death, Mrs. Haberman turned her grief into powerful advocacy. Since 2021, she's campaigned for legislative reform, sharing her family's experience to raise awareness and drive change. Her efforts were instrumental in the passage of legislation legalising voluntary assisted dying in South Australia, ensuring families facing terminal illness have compassionate choices available to them. Beyond her advocacy, Mrs. Haberman is committed to her community, serving as a Woodner District Council since 2018 and volunteering with the South Australian Ambulance Service. Mrs. Elizabeth Haberman. Mr. John Leonard Huff is recognised for service to veterans. Mr. Huff has helped improve the lives of individual veterans and their families, as well as shaping the national conversation about how Australia supports its servicemen and women. During 2 decades in the Australian Regular Army, Mr. Huff was deployed to Singapore and Borneo during the Indonesian confrontation and retired with the rank of Warrant Officer Class 1. As President of the Vietnam Veterans Foundation of Australia, he led national advocacy efforts on behalf of Vietnam veterans, including access to mental health care, recognition of service-related conditions, and long-term support for those affected by war-related trauma. At the state level, Mr. Huff served as founding president of the Off-Road Group with Vietnam Veterans Foundation of South Australia. The group offers outdoor recreational activities and peer support as a means to enhance mental health, build camaraderie, and combat social isolation among veterans. In 2002, he played a pivotal role in establishing the Camp Andrew Russell Veterans Retreat, named in honour of Sergeant Andrew Russell, the first Australian soldier killed in action during the Afghanistan conflict. Mr. John Leonard Huff. Clinical Associate Professor Robert Francis Parkin is recognised for service to medicine in the field of breast and endocrine surgery. Professor Parkin's contributions to both clinical practice and medical education have been crucial in shaping the fields of endocrine and breast surgery. Over the course of his career, he performed more than 30,000 surgeries, profoundly changing the lives of his patients. As a surgeon at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for nearly 50 years, Professor Parkin was instrumental in the development and delivery of advanced endocrine and breast surgical services while Director of Endocrine Surgery, shaping the direction of clinical practices in the field. Alongside his clinical role, he has worked as Clinical Associate Professor in the discipline of surgery at the University of Adelaide since 2009, where he has mentored and trained generations of aspiring surgeons. Professor Parkin is a prominent figure in global surgery and played a key role in founding the International Endocrine Surgical Team's outreach program. Through the program, he has trained and mentored young surgeons in countries including Kenya, Tanzania, Sudan, Malaysia, and India, sharing surgical skills and building sustainable local expertise in these communities. Clinical Associate Professor Robert Francis Parkin. Mrs. Sherilee Gay Pedler is recognised for service to the community through a range of roles and organisations. Mrs. Pedler's wide-ranging contributions across local government, community service and environmental management have made a significant and lasting impact on the Riverland community and the broader South Australian region. A committed member of the Lions Club of Berry, she has served in key roles including President, Vice President, Treasurer and Secretary, helping to deliver programs that support youth development, health and well-being. Her leadership in Lions International as Cabinet Secretary, Zone Chair and Youth of the Year Coordinator have helped strengthen service efforts both locally and globally. Mrs. Pedler's early involvement with the Uradla and Summertown Horticultural and Floricultural Show Society, along with her voluntary service in the South Australian State Emergency Service, highlight her enduring dedication to supporting and strengthening regional communities. In her professional role as Manager of Environmental Services at the District Council of Loxton-Waikerie, alongside her work on council assessment panels across South Australia, Mrs. Pedler has contributed significantly to the careful planning and responsible growth of communities in the state. Mrs. Sherilee Gale Pedler. Mr. Graham Michael Rudd is recognised for service to veterans. As an Army veteran, Mr. Rudd has dedicated his post-service years to supporting fellow veterans and their well-being. As an accredited volunteer advocate, he has assisted more than 500 veterans Australia-wide with compensation claims and has been generous in developing and mentoring other advocates who have benefited from his vast experience. Currently the chair of Military Advocates SA, formerly known as the Plimpton Veterans Centre, he is widely admired for his tenacity and empathy, shaped by his 30-year service, including 3 RAR Royal Battalion Parachute Unit. Mr. Rudd's contribution to veteran services was also recognised with life membership by the Military Brotherhood Military Motorcycle Club Adelaide sub-branch. He was instrumental in setting up the Safe Ride for Veteran program, where veterans forge camaraderie and mateship while enjoying the freedom of the road. He is a founding member and has held all leadership positions at various times. Mr. Graham Michael Rudd. late Colonel Francis Peter Scott is recognised for service to veterans and their families. His daughter, Mrs. Deborah Davidson, will accept the award on behalf of the family. Colonel Scott dedicated his post-war life to ensuring the Korean War and its veterans were commemorated and remembered. Each year he attended, in the company of other Korean War veterans, a service at the Royal Australian Regiment Association Rooms to commemorate the Battle of Kap Yong and the Battle of Mariang San. He acted as MC at the annual service commemorating Australian personnel missing in action from the Korean War and organised the service to mark the 70th anniversary of the cessation of hostilities. As a serviceman, Colonel Scott took part in the famous Battle of Mariang San, described as the greatest single feat of the Australian Army during the Korean War. A graduate of the Royal Military College, Duntroon, Colonel Scott's distinguished 37-year career in the Australian Army included service in Japan and Vietnam. He is also recognised for his contribution to the Legacy Club of South Australia and Broken Hill and the Royal Australian Regiment Association of South Australia. The late Colonel Francis Peter Scott. Your Excellency, we now come to the presentation of the Australian Sports Medal. The Prime Minister announced the creation of the Australian Sports Medal in 1998. It was formally established by letters patent issued by Her Majesty the Queen in 1999 and first awarded in 2000, the year that Sydney hosted the Olympic Games and Paralympic Games. The medal was awarded to a range of Australians who had contributed to sporting excellence in Australia, including those who provided service and support for grassroots sport. In 2020, Her Majesty the Queen agreed to amend the regulations for the Sports Medal to recognise the significant achievement of Australians participating in declared international multi-sport events, commencing with the Invictus Games held in Sydney in 2018. The Australian Sports Medal is awarded by the Governor-General, and today's awards, as Her Excellency said earlier, are in respect of participation at the 2023 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Berlin. Your Excellency, the following recipients have been awarded the Australian Sports Medal. Mr. Anton Cobb is recognised for participating in the 2023 Special Olympics World Summer Games. Mr. Cobb lives with his mother Annette in Old Ranella. He is 27 years old and has been employed at Bedford Group for 9 years. Last year, he transitioned to open employment with Dovetail Advanced Manufacturing, a Bedford-backed social enterprise. Mr. Cobb commenced basketball training with Special Olympics in 2014 and participated in the National Games in 2018 and 2022. After the 2022 National Games in Tasmania, he was selected in the Australian men's basketball team and travelled to Berlin, where the team came home with a bronze medal in Division 1. Mr. Cobb trains 3 times a week and plays twice a week. With the little spare time he has, he enjoys keeping fit at the gym and following his favourite basketball and football teams. Mr. Anton Cobb. Miss Madison Fox is recognised for participating in the 2023 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Berlin. At just 9.5 years old, Miss Fox's life changed forever. One ordinary day, while out walking the dogs with a friend, she was hit by a car. In an instant, everything she knew was turned upside down and she couldn't walk or talk. Ms Fox spent 6 months in hospital, followed by years of intensive rehabilitation, pushing through every challenge one step at a time. She never gave up. Today, Ms Fox can walk and talk and has achieved things that were once thought impossible. In 2023, she proudly completed Year 12 and in that same year represented Australia in Berlin, playing the sport she has always loved, basketball. It was an unforgettable experience for her, proving that no matter the obstacles, dreams can still come through. She made some wonderful lifelong friends along the way and proudly brought home a bronze medal. Miss Madison Fox. Mr Jack Jones is recognised for participating in the 2023 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Berlin. Mr Jones completed Year 12 in 2020 and, through a friend, found Special Olympics. Playing basketball helped him to come out of his shell. He represented South Australia in the National Games in Tasmania in 2022 and, as we know, in the Special Olympics in Berlin. On that occasion, he travelled without his parents, as his mother was having a kidney transplant and his father was the donor. Bringing home a bronze medal showed him that dreams can come true, while demonstrating how much he had grown within himself in just 3 short years of Special Olympics participation. Mr Jones is a registered volunteer with Special Olympics and helps with the training of other players. He volunteered at the opening ceremony of the State Games and then swapped back into his uniform to participate in the ceremony. Mr Jack Jones. Miss Mia Woods is recognised for participating in the 2023 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Berlin. Miss Woods started playing basketball in Strathalbyn when she was 8. At 16, she started playing inclusive basketball at Mount Barker and was chosen to play in the South Australian women's Ivor Burge team, which travelled to Tasmania for the National Games. Since then, she has played for the Ivor Burge team every year, travelling to Ipswich, Perth, Bendigo, Ballarat, Launceston, Geelong and more. Miss Woods also plays for the South Australian Special Olympics team, and of course the most exciting time for her was to be chosen to play in the World Games in Berlin. When she is not playing basketball, she enjoys netball and does carriage driving. Miss Mia Woods.
That's never happened before. As you were, and we'll carry on. There we are.
Your Excellency, that concludes the presentations.
Thanks very much, Hugh. And look, thank you everyone. I hope you can now see what I was mentioning at the beginning. It's not just the service and the achievements of the one you know and love, but it's everybody's. It's one of the things that makes South Australia, I think, the very special place that it is. But every single recipient of an award in the Order of Australia today was nominated by another Australian. And what I want to ask you, please, now that you know exactly what this service looks like, to please think about nominating others who are worthy of the kind of recognition that's been given today. And a final request of those I've invested today, please do wear your insignia. I promise you the neck decorations normally stay on. The pins are something to wear every day. There's a special miniature for black tie events at which they need to be worn. Not every black tie event, but some. I will be seeing most of you out and about. And I'll be wearing mine, and we can then talk about yours. So please do that. Can I invite everyone a final round of applause for the wonderful people we've invested today.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, please be upstanding for the departure of Her Excellency, Mr. Bunton, and the official party. Can I invite the guests, please, to join Her Excellency and Mr. Bunton in the drawing rooms? Can I ask the recipients to remain in the room for the group photograph, please? And as I said before, you are, after that's done, free to circulate anywhere in the house and take photographs and sit on the furniture. Thank you very much.